Welcome to Third Phase UFO Report. I'm Rich Giordano from GUFON, and here is tonight's report. We have got some incredible UFO sightings of 2022 that we're going to look back on already in the month of January. And I can't believe some of the things that have come across ThirdPhaseOfMoon's table. Like this one we're going to talk about tonight. At 30,000 feet, people recorded these two lights. Nobody knows why, where, how. This one at a volcano, I think it's in Mexico. But look at that disc-shaped craft. We've seen those before, just like this one. Nobody knows what this is either. This is amazing what's happening this year. And this one at the ISS, I still don't know what it is. And if anybody has any ideas, we'll talk about that. And the upside-down ice cream cone reminds me of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So sit back, relax, buckle up, as they say, and here is the first report.
Now we're going to get a closer look at whatever this object is. What's going on next to volcanoes? We had a big one just blow up in Tonga. Maybe, just maybe, UFOs are interested in the power of volcanic activity. And as we look at this object captured from multiple angles in different locations, definitely it seems to be the same culprit. A flying saucer in broad daylight. What are we looking at, guys? Thanks for joining us in this live premiere. Again, we're looking at this, and Jaime Maussan wanted us to share it with the world right now. And once again, we have this cigar-shaped, flying disc-shaped object totally take a dive at tremendous speeds here. Look at this. Again, the maps indicate locations of where these anomalous objects are captured, and what's crazy is that this isn't a practical drone, in my opinion. This is something bizarre, and if it were some kind of balloon, they don't just descend at that kind of rate of speed. This is incredible stuff here. I'm digging these videos coming in from the volcanic regions across the planet. Brett, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Blake, Popocatépetl is off the hook with UFOs. Look at this thing. It's just hovering right there above the caldera of this volcano, an active volcano. This thing's huge. Look at the size of it. If it's even close to that mountaintop, the volcano itself, I'd measure this thing to be at least 50 to 100 feet.
All right, what is happening around the globe? Tonga had a volcano that exploded something like we've never seen about a week or so ago. The most massive volcanic eruption we've ever seen on video from space. The Ring of Fire is active. We've had several volcanoes going off. It seems like every month there's a new volcano going off. But why are these objects so interested in the volcanoes? We have seen these time and time again. This does not look like a drone to me. There are drone characteristics, but you see how it's tilted and then it tilts back up? That only happens when the drone moves, not when it's stationary. So if you see the tilting, don't be so easily dismissive that this is a drone. I own drones, and this does not look like the way a drone operates. Now here you can see it's sped up a little bit. That has got so many different qualities to it. Is it a balloon? No, because it has intelligence behind it. It goes somewhere. It is going to somewhere and then it stops. That's how I know it's not a balloon. Here it is again. We can't tell how close it is to the volcano, but this isn't anything new. Do they like the geothermal energy that comes from the volcanoes? It makes you wonder if they're taking energy or using the thermal energy, the heat from the volcano to power their ships. I have no idea. But something about UFOs and volcanoes, are they tunnel systems that they go through? Very good place to hide. Well, food for thought. We still don't know what that is. Let's go to the next report.
What the fuck? Oh, it's... What is that? What the fuck is that? Oh look, it's going dark. What is that? It's going light again. Look. What is it? What is that? Trippy, now it's only one light, babe. Look, now it's only one light. It's back that way. It's gone now.
All right, guys, this is one of the best UFO videos that I've seen in quite a while because, again, no deception whatsoever. Some people might dismiss this as a reflection off the window of the plane for passengers to look out. And as you heard, she's shocked at what she's seen. She's trying to get people to notice. Look, there's two of them. There's two of these illuminated orbs. What is going on here? Again, we're putting out the information because we have no idea. We're not UFO experts. We're just putting it out there, and we're experts at getting it out as fast as possible. But I'm going to have to rule out reflection because as we look at this closer, and I did some brightness contrast to add a little bit more detail, you can see these lights. It's descending. It's moving left to right. It's flanking the airplane, but disappears behind the cloud layer. Right there is proof, in my opinion, that this isn't no reflection. So what are these two orbs? Again, it peeks out behind, in front of the clouds there. It wants to maybe keep an eye on the plane. Not exactly sure, but now it's just one orb.
We have an unidentified flying object.
I love this sighting. Here we have somebody as a passenger on an airplane, a commercial flight, at 30,000 feet, looking out the window and seeing these two, I have to say it, orb-like objects, which could be who knows what. This could be two craft, it could be one craft. All I know is I see two round orbs illuminating very bright, that if there is a craft, we can't see it. A lot of people are talking about spiritual and demonic and all this stuff now being associated with UFOs. Could this be some sort of, I hate to say it, but could it be some sort of angelic being deemed a UFO? People called them Foo Fighters, right? Back in, I believe, WW1 and 2. In the Korean War, they saw them. Here's a photo, a famous photo right there of what are deemed orbs, Foo Fighters. There's two right there that are right next to some fighter airplanes back in WW1 or 2. I don't know exactly, probably WW1 and 2. Anyway, it's amazing. These have been around for as long as people have been seeing UFOs. I can't say that's an airplane because it looks nothing like airplanes. It is, well, now I wonder if it's maybe something on the ground. Could these be two reflective dishes or something on the ground reflecting the sun? I doubt it. Because it looks like it's flanking the plane, like Blake said, like it's moving from left to right. It's with the plane. You can see the clouds block them out here in a little bit, if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, I don't see anything in between them. Then they dim a little bit because of the cloud cover. This is a very unique sighting. These are very rare. Rare, but very popular. People know these because they're very bright. You can't see a ship. It's amazing. I don't know what these could be. Just points of energy, maybe. Maybe a portal or two. It's awesome. Just awesome. Great sighting. All right, let's get to the next one. Just as good.
Con cámara de Super Zoom por Morador Producciones. Son las 5 de la tarde. Grabado desde el patio de mi casa, Atempan, Puebla.
Let's roll it once again. We're watching this, and this is coming out from Hainit Mosan. He put this out on his channel, and he's wanting us to share it with you in America here. Is this some kind of new Vimana? That's what people might say. Some kind of craft up there, or is this some possible advertising balloon? I'm not seeing any gondola underneath whatever this thing is, so definitely, in my opinion, it's unmanned from that point of view. I don't see any fire underneath to propel this as they do. We've got a good close-up on this right now, and let me tell you, I haven't seen any kind of craft like this in my over a decade or so that resembles anything in this character. Brett, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad that the cameraman holds a steady shot of this object, whatever it is, and he's going to zoom out. We're going to see that this has a full landscape, and he's actually got a pretty big lens on this thing to get this kind of detail. I commend him for that. This was captured in Buenos Aires, I believe, and what's going on there? Is this some sort of technology that they're experimenting with? I'm not going to rule that out. We're looking at something kind of amazing. We see these kind of like pillars on top of this thing, but here we go. He's zooming out. He's trying to grab focus, and look at the detail on how far out this thing is. So this thing's got to be massive. What is this?
Yeah, it would be size of a 10-story building, in my opinion. Look as he zooms in once again to get his focus on whatever this object is, but we can see that this thing is very far away from the person on the ground. So I would have to say this is, again, maybe a 10-story, maybe even 20 stories in height here. But what's a weird cylindrical objects partitioned around the object up at the top of this craft? That kind of catching my eye on here. Let me see if I could get a good still off this video and see if we could get more detail. Let me see. This is it. That's a pretty good shot. I'm going to be zooming in, adding some brightness, contrast, and adding actually some sharpness here. Is that some kind of possible... This is weird. Look, they look like tanks up on the top, rotating in diameter around the object. Brian, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that was an insane picture right there. It really gave detail. This isn't CGI, folks. This is the real deal. Now, the big question is, what is it? Could it be a big hot air balloon? Maybe. I've just never seen anything like this. It almost seems like there's even a pictorial or maybe even a face attached to it. It could be just pareidolia on my part, but whatever this object is, like you said, Blake, is huge. It's like 10 to 20 story building. It's massive, and the colors are interesting. It has this kind of like flesh color look to it with maybe a little pinkish hue. I'm not seeing any like detection of mylar or balloon reflecting. This is something different.
All right, here's one from Buenos Aires. Jaime Mozan gets these types more than we do. Why they're more abundant in that part of the world is beyond me. Just like disc-shaped craft seem to be closer to the camera. And I don't know if it's their culture, because they're very big into flying things like balloons and making fireworks go through the sky and all sorts of pyrotechnics that are airborne. This is not moving left to right. This does not look like a hot air balloon. There's no gondola scene, no flame shooting up into it. Look at how close we get here. There's indentation, almost like this is like a project that are put together with clay and paper mache and all that stuff. You know, it looks like a flying project. But if it was a balloon, we would see movement, and it's very static. We would see it turn a little bit to the right or to the left or something. But we don't get that. What we have here is an object that is stationary in the sky, and I mean stationary like it's not moving, rotating, leaning one way or the other. I don't know what this is. Here you can see if they did, they give us a little reference point. That's, it's not that high in the sky. Maybe 500 feet, close to 1,000, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it looks to be a little further out. Maybe a mile or two away. It's weird. It looks like an upside down ice cream cone. Doesn't it? And what a great job this person did with the camera. And you can see it looks like the indent, and it looks like there's even a smiley face at the bottom. So I'm thinking, because Blake brought it up, is this an advertisement balloon? Well, no. And I'll tell you why. The one biggest reason you put an advertising balloon in the sky is so people can see it. You wouldn't be able to read that thing or see what it is from the ground without a telescope, binoculars, or a camera with focus and zoom and all that stuff. Obviously focus, but good job. See what I mean? It has I don't know if that's a window, an eye, a smiley face. It is bizarro. I've never seen anything like it. Blake said he hasn't seen anything like this in a decade. He gets thousands more of these than I do, from the public and whatnot, but it's weird. Oh, wow, it almost looks like we can see half the face and somebody's wearing one of those hats that the Peruvians wore, or maybe a Nigerian hat, if I'm even using the right culture. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty cool, though. You have to admit, we just don't see these things in America. Not like this. All right, we're coming up to an incredible sighting from the ISS. Let's take a look.
We're going to be breaking the news to the world, and we want to thank the person who shot it today and gave us a heads up. But take a look at this. What are we looking at? captured at 2:26 a.m. International Space Station time. A live feed captured some kind of anomalous craft hiding behind the ISS, and it disappears in the full sunlight spectrum. What the heck are we looking at? This video was submitted to us by Anomalies The Real Deal. He's got a YouTube channel and he keeps a close eye, and we're happy that he's sharing this video. Right now on Third Phase of Moon, we're looking at this. Once again, as you can see, whatever this craft is, basically dematerializes or takes off. But once again, in clarity, full clarity, we see this craft of unknown origin make an appearance. And that's the solar ray right there coming in from the ISS from below. But once again, we got a good close-up. I'm going to take a photo of the still video image and see if I could enhance it, bring some sharpness and brightness and contrast. This is amazing what's going on around the International Space Station right before the end of the year, and I believe this is probably the best evidence. Look at this. Once again, it's slightly rotating. I take another still photograph as we're looking at this once again. That's the solar ray panel from the International Space Station on the bottom left hand as it's rotating up. This video lasted for 9 minutes, so I sped it up to give a little bit of bigger picture, in my opinion, of this event in a little less than about 18 seconds or so. So again, this video lasts for about 9 minutes, but as I speed it up, we see this thing rotating. And I'm taking another still here, and I've got Brent here, and I want to get his opinions. What the heck is going on?
Yeah, Blake, this is some of the best stuff I've seen all year. This is amazing. What is NASA going to say about this? I bet they're going to try to tuck it away as usual, but we're looking at a craft that seems otherworldly. We see edges on it and certain shapes to this craft that doesn't seem to match anything in our arsenal. I like the way this thing just disappears and kind of maybe take off at some extreme rate. What is NASA looking at when they're looking out their windows? Are they seeing this object? Are they going to tell us is a big question. Notice this craft kind of reflect the solar flare itself. This thing looks metallic. The underbelly of it, it's highlighting the solar flare panels. Whatever this thing is, I don't believe it's a reflection. What we're seeing is something real, something metallic, something otherworldly. This is out of sight. I gotta say, you've seen it here first on Third Phase of Moon. Make sure if you see this anywhere, tell them where it came from.
Warning. Control life.
Oh man, I'm telling you, if anybody can tell me what this is, I'll be very thankful. So far, nobody's come up with an answer. NASA didn't say anything about it. This is a 9-minute recording of something near the ISS and not that far away where we can see good detail. And we still don't know what it is. That's so frustrating. This might be one of the best ISS videos of an unknown object I've seen. I can't remember when. It's been a while. But look at it. It looks metallic. And I don't see this as a reflection at all. I don't know why people say that. I don't know how they can get that off of the solar panel. So what is it reflecting onto? The lens? And we're seeing it projected out there. And now it does dissipate. And I think it's because the solar panel blocks the sun from hitting it. Because you can see the solar panel lit up. See it? You'll see again when we come back around to that vantage point. You can see the sun is, in front of it or behind it. Like if you were the camera on the ISS, the sun would be behind the camera. And that's what it looks like. Solar panels lit up. That object is barely moving. It looks like it even rotates slightly. So, is it part of the ISS? Could it be something on one of its extended arms? Or something that was put out there? Maybe they don't want us to know. And that sounds silly, but I mean, these are the things that we have to think of when we can't figure this out. Like, what would that be? I don't know. It doesn't even look like a traditional triangular craft. It looks like it could be, but then you have these two silver-looking plates that look to be put on randomly. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. Look at it rotating. You can see it a little bit. Those look like they might even be reflective. I'm not sure. I know there are a lot of people who will refuse to say that that could be a UFO. And I don't know why people are afraid to say that. I guess nobody likes being wrong. But until somebody can explain this to me, I really don't know what we're looking at. Is that something... I don't know. It looks like there's a craft out there watching the ISS or pacing with it. I don't know. It's cool though, man. And I don't know. I've never seen a reflection look like that. But let's get to the next sighting, because this one, it's just as unexplainable.
Not sure if you guys can see that shiny thing over there. No, there's nothing that should be shining up on that hill. It's up in our gravel pit. It's coming down farther and farther. It was like about, I don't know, it was quite a ways up. Now look, it's almost gone. And it's not the sun. Wow, it's gone.
Now, once again, we have a flying saucer disc-shaped object, but this one's illuminated, and this was captured earlier this week in Alberta, Canada. And you could hear the lady, she's confused to whatever this illuminated object is, but as it descends downward behind the landscape there, you can see that it is out of eyesight. But here, once again, we're going to get another close look at this. We're not seeing any FAA lights, any indications. This is very bright in the daytime, so whatever light is emitting from this object, it's very peculiar. Let's just say that. It's not a drone. I don't see any shadows to make out any kind of structure, but look at this. It almost looks like the sun as it peeks out of view below the mountainside there. So the question is, what is it, Brent? You got any thoughts here?
Yeah, Alberta, Canada, they have UFOs all the time. We receive them, and this one's unique. I like the way the girl zooms in and really captures at her best ability to catch this phenomenon in action. I like the way it just goes behind the mountainside there, the hillside. It's interesting. Here's a close-up. Look at it pulsate. It's kind of weird. Notice it just descends slowly and just kind of does a little peekaboo behind the hillside there. Watch this. There it goes. Yeah, Blake, I'm ruling out that this is a drone or oncoming plane looking directly at you, shining their headlights. This is something else. We've seen orbs, luminescent orbs from around the world, and this is a really good capture from Alberta, Canada.
Control, this is Flight. We're tracking 3 fast-moving objects. Origin.
Well. This one's gonna make you think for a minute, because I know a lot of you may think you know what this is. Yeah, the angle of the video. I don't know if we're looking at a desert area or a desolate area that there's a cliff on the other side and maybe it drops off, and that could be an airplane coming in for a landing. I don't know if I see any flashing lights, but it looks like there's some undulation going on. Like, I don't know if it's spinning, I don't know if it's energy field, I don't know if it's blinking lights, just that we can't see it because the landing lights are so bright. But it is daytime, and you see right there, it looks like it's pulsing almost, or... Now, I've seen that before, but not so pronounced when an airplane's coming in. You know, it's very, very tough to tell. These people recorded it. I think they stopped on the side of the road and noticed it. And if that's something that happens often, planes coming in for a landing, I would be curious as to why they would even record it in the first place. So it caught them off guard. They thought it was something interesting to record. That could be a light ship. Don't dismiss it. Don't laugh. What do you think it is? That's what I meant about this sighting being good, because it can be a lot of different things. You know? And nobody has figured it out yet. Man, I tell you, this field, it is so hard to know everything. You just can't. You just can't do it. And if you haven't noticed, almost every UFO that comes into Third Phase of Moon is different. It's very odd. Hey man, I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Whoa, here we go, back down into the wormhole. We're leaving the reality you call life. I want to thank Third Phase of Moon for everything they do. Without you, we don't have this. And thank you, panel members. Thank you for watching tonight's episode. Everybody in the chat, leave a comment, a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and resubscribe if you haven't. Just make sure. We'll see you next time on Third Phase UFO Report.
Flight, can you hear me? 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 Flight.